Good morning from Niš. We are finally in Serbia's third biggest city and really excited to be here. But just before we start this video, the main reason, really the only reason we came here, apart from just wanting to see a bit more of Serbia, is a very historic place, I suppose. I don't want to give too much away. That will not be covered in this video at all. We're doing a special video which is going to have its own video which will be after this video. So we're just going to show you some of the things you can do in Serbia's third largest city and some of our first impressions. We've been waiting for it to be quite a nice day for a few days now. We've been here a little while, so it's probably a little bit late for the first impressions video. But the first impressions was, all I knew about the city was the historic place we wanted to go to. So we got into the city centre, and as you can see over here is a McDonald's, and I've never seen this before. The McDonald's has closed down, it's for rent, and the doors are boarded up in the distance there. At this stage we were like, oh no, what have we got ourselves into? We're staying here for over a week. Is there anything to do here? Thankfully, since then, we've really explored the city and there's quite a lot to see and do. A very interesting city, a lot of history here as well, which will cover some really nice modern aspects as well. And of course, this monument as well for the liberation. So we're now going to head over to the fortress here. You'll have remembered in Belgrade, we went to the Belgrade fortress. This is actually the Niš fortress, which has a lot of history to it, and we'll see you inside. We haven't actually been inside yet, so looking forward to seeing how big it is because it looks very impressive.
So we just got into the Niš fortress. It's just off the main road and you enter through the massive entrance with the gates and everything at the start there. And then once you're inside, it's a massive park, there's seats everywhere. It's quite busy today because it is a Saturday, but we're going to explore more. So we're just at the north side of the fortress at the moment, and right behind this wall there is actually the moat that was once in use, but the water has been taken out, so it's been preserved, but that's the only bit of the moat that's left around the fortress, which is pretty cool.
I just can't get over how big this entire park inside the fortress is. Now, we won't talk about it too much, but of course this goes back to the times of the Ottoman Empire, which we'll focus a little bit more as this video goes on. However, there's Turkish elements throughout this entire park where we have a Turkish bath that we're trying to find. We have the mosque as well. But what we've just found here is actually the ammunition warehouse, which is where all the guns and the gunpowder were stored. And I think we can go inside. Although I'm a little bit hesitant to. I guess we'll see if anyone else is in here. There's some big cobwebs in here. So this is where all the gunpowder was stored for the battles. Oh, this goes all the way around. So there's actually 5 of these located around the fortress, but yeah, you sort of just keep walking around. You see all these trees, it goes for miles, and then there'll occasionally just be a little building, and we'll try to find more as our expedition goes on. So one of the things we really like about Serbia is that we've been to 2 of the biggest cities in this country, and you have these fortresses which are just, you know, parks and trees everywhere, playgrounds. There's like a jazz festival when we went in. It's all very lively, and the rest of the city you might be able to see in the background is built around this. So everyone's always got a place that they can come and play and run around and get some fresh air, which is really nice. So we just found the Turkish bath, or the hammam, which is right here. Obviously we missed it when we first came in because of all of this jazz stuff, but the best thing about Niš is that you can just walk around everywhere. So just on the other side of this building here is some local markets and the central bus station, so we'll go check those out. So we just finished up at the market there. That was incredible. I mean, we've been to a lot of markets in Turkey and around Europe, but that place sold everything. There was like full-on light stores and kitchenware, as well as all the clothes, all the sporting goods you could want. And Hannah made a little purchase as well, getting into the festive spirit.
Because it's Christmas soon, I got some Santa socks. So I wear these on Christmas Day.
And they cost about €1, give or take. I don't think we were ever going to get the local price, being, you know, full-blown tourists, but nonetheless, we are going to try and find some food now as well, because that place sold everything apart from food. Alright guys, just got my first ever Burek. I've heard so much about it. It is a beef Burek, and yeah, we'll see. First impressions. Real nice and flaky, so. This is really good. This cost about 70 dinar, which I believe is like 50 cents, 50 euro cents roughly, so not even €1, and very filling indeed. Very tasty too, and it's actually warm as well, which is nice. I've seen photos of them, so I wasn't sure how it was served, but real nice and warm. Now, one of the first mistakes I made when booking where we were staying in Niš was we booked right in the city centre, which was fine, but I was rubbing my hands because I found next to our accommodation, we booked next to a Forum shopping centre. And we've stayed at a lot of places near Forum shopping centres around Europe, and they're usually quite grand, really just state-of-the-art shopping centres, but this one was not. This one was really only a couple levels higher. It had a couple decent stores, like clothes stores and that, but there wasn't even a food court at the top. It was just like a little cafe, and I was like, once again, I was like, we're here for over a week. What are we going to do? And that was until we found Delta Planet, which is probably about a 15-minute walk from the city centre, just on the outskirts of the city, and really state-of-the-art, huge food court, all the shopping you want, all the electronic stores. So if you don't want to spend your times, you know, walking around the markets or eating Bureks and you want something a bit more Western or modern, there is the shopping centre.
So we just finished up in the shopping centre next to me. We got some snacks and now we're heading to one of the biggest tourist attractions in all of Niš and one of the biggest in all of Serbia. So just giving you a heads up, it's pretty full on. We'll show you when we get there.
So I said we would make it back to the Ottoman Empire side of history, and this is where it is all behind me at Skull Tower. Now, in the early 1800s, it was 1804, Serbian forces began a rebellion against the Ottoman Empire. Unfortunately for the Serbs, the Ottoman Empire was just too big and strong and outnumbered them. And to cut a very long story short, all the men that died fighting against the Ottomans, all their skulls were actually collected and built into a little tower here, where the name Skull Tower comes from. Gonna go inside and just see how brutal it is. The interesting thing is though, there was about 1,000 you know, actual skulls that made this tower up as a deterrent. So anyone that was thinking about leading an uprising against the Ottomans might think twice seeing 1,000 human skulls. But what is interesting is right now a chapel surrounds it, as you can probably see in the background. So the human skulls were actually exposed to the elements for, you know, almost 100 years before this chapel was built in the late 1800s. So a lot of the skulls have vanished, and we'll see inside how the skulls have actually held up. But there's only about 50 skulls now, so we'll go inside and just see what it looks like in 2021. We just got outside of the Skull Tower. Very interesting. It was just, I mean, it's a little chapel with the actual tower itself. Walk around, probably only spent 5 minutes in there. If you do want to come to Skull Tower, I mean, the entry fee was like 200 dinar, so it was like not even €2, like €1.50. So that's definitely one of the things that I love about Serbia, is they don't rip tourists off. Everything's only, you know, a couple euros to get in, or it's free. Like all the fortresses are free, and a lot of free museums. It's really pleasant change, to be honest, because most places just want to rip tourists off. So Serbia's getting higher and higher on my list. Hopefully you guys have been able to learn something from this, and we'll see you for the ending. To end this video, we've just been inside this really nice shopping mall here, which we showed you earlier in the video, and I've just got this hot chocolate. I don't normally go to cafes, but it is winter time here, European winter obviously, and I just want to show you something really cool that I noticed they do in the hot chocolates at this particular cafe. So this is a hot chocolate, and then at the bottom, oh, it's melting. It's really hot tonight. There is, like, on this stick here, it's like a chocolate ball, and pretty much most of it's melted, unfortunately, but you just run it around the cup like that, and I don't know, to me that's pretty cool. I mean, I don't really go to cafes much. Maybe they do this everywhere, but yeah, I'm pretty impressed. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. It's steaming hot, as you can see, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye, guys.